This is the first in a new seminar series called Demystifying Media, and what I wanted to do was really try and find a hook to try and bring in a whole range of interesting different speakers who are producing fantastic research outside of the SOJC, or who are really at the cutting edge of industry practice.
It's actually been a really big and interesting year. I think the defining development of the year was the emergence of these new hosted models for news, which I think are going to impact publishers for many years to come. So at the beginning of last year, we had Snapchat Discover, and what they did was really say, well, let's just rethink the whole news experience. So basically from our own native app, how might news work within that, rather than starting with the preconceptions of how news works elsewhere.
We're delighted to have Nick Newman as our inaugural speaker for this series. Nick is someone I have worked with on and off at the BBC and then subsequently, and he's incredibly knowledgeable about developments that are happening in the journalism, media and tech space.
I found the lecture really interesting, actually. The fact that he discussed Snapchat as a valid form of news media is kind of interesting to me, because I think it's something that's seen as more casual, like social media interpretation.
I wasn't coming in here expecting to learn what I did today. I'm really looking forward to what's the future is going to be looking like when it comes to news, and how they're sort of connecting to social media as a tool to help them deliver news to the society.
I think if we look ahead to what's going to happen in 2016, the sort of video revolution is kind of only just beginning, really. So traffic is projected to grow about 10 times, depending which forecaster you look at, over the next few years in terms of internet delivery. And of course, more and more of that content is going to be vertical, it's going to be square, or at least it's not defined by the shape of a TV. And it basically looks at screen time, and it says how much time are people spending on traditional horizontal landscape televisions as opposed to vertical. And it's now 29%. A few years ago, it was 5%. So it's transformed. You can see if that continues, it'll be over 50% in about a year's time, 2 years' time. One of the really interesting things that we're all going to have to get used to, particularly if we're going into journalism, or we think about journalism, is sort of robo journalism. One of the big challenges for publishers is how do you create more content with the same number of people? And so to do that, you're going to need to do some pretty serious automation. And computers are now fantastically good at doing that kind of stuff if the data is structured well.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting tool. There's still a person behind it, so it's not totally robo. It's just a more efficient way of getting more news out there.
But for now, please join me in thanking our speaker for today.